The language of retreat has been compromised in our culture. I don't know what you think about when you think about retreats, but sometimes you might think about a long board meeting sort of a thing, a long meeting from which you cannot go home. You might also think of those loud youth retreats where there's loud music and drama and lots of programming and staying up late and staying in a room with 4 other people so that you go home from retreat more tired than when you came. The language of spiritual retreat is very different than that. A spiritual retreat in the language of formation is a period of time, an extended period of time, in which we withdraw from our life in the company of others. We withdraw from the battle, if you will, and we give God our full and undivided attention. And oftentimes we confuse the language, and because of this, then we don't have the spiritual discipline of retreat in our lives. And you can actually think about retreat from the standpoint of the military usage, that the language of retreat means that you do retreat. You pull back, you put some distance between you and the battle line. You put distance between you and the place where you might be in danger. You take some time to rest because you can't fight the battle 24 hours a day. You take time to tend to your wounds. You take time to look at the field, to step back and to get a broader view of the field and what's going on, and to perhaps re-strategize to say, well, that's not working very well. I need to come back with a better plan than that. And so the language of retreat has that idea of pulling back and going inward, and in spiritual language, spending time with God, orienting our whole selves towards God, allowing ourselves to rest in God, allowing God to touch us where we most need to be touched. And so for those of us who have been in different kinds of business settings and Christian settings, we might need to reuse our language and rethink our language so that when we think about retreat, we don't think about lots of noise and lots of programming and long meetings that wear us out, but we actually think of retreat as a discipline that puts distance between me and the battle, that helps me to slow down, that helps me to gain perspective, that gives me a chance to hear God inviting me to rest in God so that I can return to the battle eventually, but energized and clear about what God is calling me to bring.